AI tools, including Microsoft Copilot, were used to help transform the original interview content into a structured podcast style script. All ideas, reflections, and interview responses remain my own or are taken directly from the interviewee statements. AI was used only for organization, wording, and formatting. I have reviewed and edited all content to ensure accuracy, academic integrity, and alignment with course expectations. And with that, let's get into it. I started by asking him about his expectations and concerns regarding prenatal development. I don't really worry about it because I was at work, but just their growth in general, how they will learn and how everything would be set up. Other than that, their mother took care of everything. I'm just being straight honest with you. I followed up by asking if he had any specific concerns about how the baby was developing in the womb. The only concerns I had were things like preeclampsia, if you know what that is. It can injure the mother and the baby, even kill them both. That was the only major issue I worried about. I also tried to think about what ran in our families. Cancer runs in mine, diabetes runs in hers. I wanted to know if the kids might have it, but some tests you have to wait for. Still, it's worth it in the end. When we shifted into discussing the types of prenatal care he used or would recommend, he surprised me with one unique suggestion. One major thing, TV on with static noise and put it on low. It helps the baby in the womb, and when they come out, they sleep much deeper. Try it, you'll thank me. You won't lose as much sleep as I did with my first two kids. Other than that, I don't worry too much because they were always healthy. I focus on the things that would have a major impact and let everything else ride. He also mentioned prenatal vitamins, reading stories to the baby, and playing soft music. Avoid rock music, he warned, because according to him, babies kick back hard. Next, we talked about how culture, society, and economics influenced his experience. For me, mainly economics, working a lot. That's the only thing that kept me from being there more. But I'd rather work those hours and give my children the life I didn't have. Sacrifice the time. It's worth it in the end. They'll grow up and understand, hopefully. He went on to describe the reality many parents face. Babies are expensive, government assistance depends on income, and working long hours can disqualify families from programs like WIC, even when they still struggle financially. I asked about social influences. She stayed home, didn't want people around except me, and I couldn't always be there. We practiced our beliefs with the kids while they were in the womb, but really didn't change much. Really, the biggest thing was me working too much. It hurts me still because I'm not as close to my kids now. To wrap up the interview, I asked him what he believes supports healthy development before birth. Reading bedtime stories to the baby in the womb, playing music, anything that helps their knowledge grow. Just no rock music. They'll kick hard. Don't put your head on the stomach either. You'll get kicked. I promise it'll scare you. Talking with him revealed how prenatal development is shaped not just by biology, but by real life circumstances. He expressed concerns about genetic risks like cancer and diabetes, showing an understanding that hereditary factors play a role in development. He also mentioned preeclampsia, a serious complication that can threaten mother and baby. One thing that wasn't discussed explicitly but is important is teratogens, environmental hazards. Since he worked in the oil field, this raised a point about workplace safety. Parents in high risk industries should be informed about exposure risks during pregnancy. Economically, his experience reflects many American families today. Traditional gender roles place men in the provider role and women in the caretaker role. These patterns are rooted in cultural and historical influence, including religion, and continue to be debated in today's social and justice reform movements. His story also highlights something we emphasize in developmental psychology. Development is shaped by a combination of genetic, biological, environmental, social, and economic factors. This interview made it clear how financial pressure, work demands, cultural expectations, and family roles on influence a parent's experience long before the baby is even born. A big thank you to our guest for sharing his story with honesty and openness. Experiences like his remind us that prenatal development isn't just a biological process. It's a human journey shaped by real lives, real challenges, and real love. Thank you for listening to our podcast episode. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow and share. I'm your host, Joseph Anderson. And until next time, take care and keep learning.